How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I've got the next mission in the Modern Warfare Remastered campaign. It's called Ultimatum. It's another joint operation.
Old leaders prostituted us to the West, destroyed our culture, our economy, our honor. Our blood has been spilled on our soil. My blood on their hands. They are the invaders. All US and British forces will leave Russia immediately, or suffer the consequences.
It's quite simple. Either we retake the launch facility or we won't recognize the world tomorrow. Green light to Halo. Charlie team, go. Second drop approaching. Bravo team, stay tight. Go.
So basically, he's a little bit pissed off that we made his son blow his brains out, so he's taken a nuclear facility that we've got to go and take back. Now when you first start, they're going to talk bollocks. Just get running along this path heading sort of roughly southwest, and you'll see a vehicle. Pop those two guys and carry on moving up. To be honest, at this point you are kind of best off waiting for your team to catch you up, really, because as you'll see, a load of torches in the trees in the distance. If you try and shoot them now on your own, you can't really tell where they all are, but bullets just come flying out the mist and you die. If you shoot them when your team's actually next to you, then your team basically clears them all out pretty quick. Like normally in set positions, your team doesn't really do a whole lot and you have to kind of do the pushing and the clearing, but with this one it's definitely worth waiting for those slack beasts to catch up. So anyway, after that, carry on pushing up. You'll come to a house. So you just got to clean the house out. You basically, you obviously all parachuted out for the start of the mission. One of your team went missing, so you got to go and try and find him. When you kill these guys here, I managed to do it somehow, technically silently. I don't really know how, as you see, but the door to the left of me, there's people in that room, and if you make enough noise, that door will burst open and there's another couple of people in there. That's why I was being more hesitant at the minute, because they can also come out of that door of the same room. But for whatever reason, it decided that I did that quiet enough, and you can actually hear those guys in there, but they left me alone, so fuck it, I won't complain.
Moving to the next house. Keep it quiet.
So when you come out here, you look to the right, there's going to be a person you can see. There's another person just around the corner. It probably can be done silently, but to be honest, I like a few dogs come out and it just, why not? Get them sorted. Kill these couple of guys that burst out of that house. And once you've done that, your team will end up like just across to this house. You've got to obviously run near them before they go in here. This is where your guy is actually in this house. There's nothing on the bottom floor, and there's basically nothing out here either. You just got to go to this door and wait for your team to turn up and breach it. As far as I'm aware, you can't really fuck this bit up. They're going to put a breach thing on the door like they did in Charlie Don't Surf. You can aim at a guy, as you'll see. I shoot one guy, but I don't think you particularly need to. I think those guys will do it if you don't. So go behind Griggs and press square and it'll cut the cable ties.
That was my first thought, but your arse had all the C4. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
So anyway, once you've done that, you can get back out the house. I cut a little bit of this out because basically, run the way you can see, you head into this sort of power line thing. Ignore the helicopters. Everyone lays on the floor, but as long as you don't shoot at them, which I tried, they won't spot you or anything. Just run over to this power line tower thing, put the C4 on it and blow it. You don't need to wait for your team or anything. To be honest, about now is where I cut it out because I'm just waiting for those lazy fuckers to turn up. But you can see that fence there. They're going to open the fence. Again, I was just waiting for him to actually... He sprays something on the fence to open it. That's what I think of the dogs. So once you can actually get through the gap, just run straight down here and you'll kind of come to a load of disused factory sort of buildings, I suppose. And once you actually jump over there, as you'll see, there's you can swap your handgun for a sniper, which I'd definitely recommend. Basically, you just got to clear this area out. You'll see the rough places they all appear. Generally, if you stay back here and clear this first lot out, you're pretty safe. The RPGs on the rooftops, I'll see that in a sec. They're basically up here. Sometimes there is more than one. But once you've cleaned the first lot out, you want to try and push up forward because it's kind of just trying to trigger either a checkpoint or just the next event to happen in the situation. I have to say, actually, speaking of checkpoints, the checkpoint we got as we arrived at this bit, it doesn't do another checkpoint for a little while, so if you die at any point, it's going to jump you back to like where I picked the sniper up. So if you run over to this building, it triggers the helicopter, and I obviously try and shoot as many as I can while they're rappelling down. This building's pretty good because it gives you a line of sight to behind that tank, which seems to be where a lot of them end up sort of hiding from your team, and you can just pick them all off from the side. Again, don't forget that roof. There's once you do push out, it sort of triggers a few more people up on the roof. There is a fair amount of people here. I sort of got pretty lucky this time. Normally you do get a bit more gunfire back at you, but once it dies down you tend to know that you can push forward. Where I just aimed is roughly the way you're going to be heading. Once you've just before you do that, sorry, if you run into this building and double back on yourself, that's the piece of intel. I believe there's only one piece of intel on this mission. So anyway, carry on the way you've been going. You can go through that door, or you can go up these stairs. The reason I do go up these stairs, if you go left once you are up the stairs and to this corner, it'll kind of trigger the helicopter to bring more enemies. But basically, if you come up the stairs, you just got a much better vantage point. You can usually clip most of them off the ropes anyway, but obviously you're looking down where they all land, and as long as you're quick enough you can basically pick them all off, and then it's not going to trigger like the next thing. Where I just aimed, there will be somebody, but you have to sort of jump down and go to this door. Now there is somebody behind there, or was. Not anymore. And then yeah, they all come from over this section. That's where you're going to be heading, basically, where they're pouring out. So once you've done that, go to this doorway. It's basically what they were all protecting. And when you go through there, you're going to see some people up on the roof in a second. Worth getting them pretty quick, because they fire rockets down where you are, and it does kill you pretty easily. These people tend to pop out everywhere. Obviously the good thing with campaign mode is you do actually have like auto lock, so just keep clicking aim and it should jump onto everybody. I don't know what the hell that noise was that kept doing that next to me. I've never heard it any other time I've played through it, but it kept doing it. It might have been the barrels, but as I say, I've never really heard it any other time. So again, once the fighting dies down, keep pushing forward. It's that building you want to get to, and it should sort of trigger the next point. I'll just fill in my grenades up quickly. So that's why it's worth always using your grenades, really, because every time you kill people, they always drop grenades. You usually have no trouble filling them back up. So again, when you get to this point, loads of enemies are going to pour out. Which I have to say, to be honest, I don't dislike this mission at all, but it's definitely one of the least imaginative missions in this campaign. There's not really much thought, or there's nothing really exciting to do. It is basically just sort of set pieces where you get to a checkpoint and then a load more enemies turn up and you kill them and move forward. And that's where I think Call of Duty missions are kind of like campaigns have gone a little bit downhill in recent history. Like, this is a bad example, but considering this was back in like 2007 or something, obviously we've been flying like gunships, firing miniguns, all sorts of different things on the game. The ghillie suit idea is more playing a bit sneaky and intelligent. Yeah, there's just a lot of aspects to the campaign, whereas I found personally with a campaign like Call of Duty World War II, I didn't hate the campaign, but it felt very boring and repetitive. Like, all they ever did really on that game was just kill the enemy in front of you, move up, checkpoint reached, kill the next lot of enemy, and there wasn't a whole lot happening really. So that's personally why I do like older missions like this. But anyway, that's me little rant on that. But that was it. Once you've killed that enemy, push forward, and it's basically the end of the game now. You're going to run down here, and then some snipers are going to appear out of the trees. Obviously you're pushing on your way to the nuclear base, and you'll see what's about to happen.
Good to see you guys made it. We'll give you sniper cover once you're inside the perimeter. What the hell is that? We got a problem here! There's another one!
So Zakayev's already launched the missiles, and like I say, that's about it for this mission. It's going to go into a cutscene, and then it's on to the next mission, which basically follows on from here. So I hope this helps. I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.